Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Before I begin my ministerial statement, I think Honorable Koya was a bit more excited than I thought he would be. I think the idea of Open Skies ASA agreement is actually a contractual framework between a service provider and a client, which specifies a number of different aspects of how it's going to be done. So all that, hoo-ha about open skies and suddenly things will end is not going to happen, because the agreements itself are going to be looked at carefully. Anyway, Mr. Speaker, let me provide an update on the replacement of the government's financial management information system, which is scheduled to go live on 1st August 2024. What is the FMIS, Financial Management System and Payroll System? Mr. Speaker, the Ministry of Finance has been undergoing numerous reforms to modernize its systems, IT systems, processes, and had embarked on a major IT project to replace the current two-decade-old financial management information system and a 40-year-old payroll system. The FMIS system, Mr. Speaker, is the accounting system for the whole of government. So each year, when the budget is prepared and approved by Parliament, the Ministry of Finance uploads the entire budget appropriation on FMIS. Funds are allocated to individual heads of appropriations, which is managed by the respective permanent secretaries, who are the chief accounting officers for their ministries. So during the financial year, when a ministry wants to procure an item, the accounting staff of that agency will get onto FMIS, make a commitment to issue a LPO. Once the item is supplied and the invoice is issued by the supplier, the LPO will be closed in the FMIS and a payment will be generated online with funds transferred to the respective bank account of the vendor. This then, Mr. Speaker, creates an accounting transaction which gets recorded in the FMIS. Such transactions happen daily in different agencies throughout the financial year. Apart from this, there are other known expenditure and accounting processes, including RIEs, buyments, cash flow adjustments, excess approvals, reconciliations, redeployments, procurement processes that continue throughout the year. And once the financial year is completed, Mr. Speaker, the FMIS is used to generate all financial reports that are then audited by the Office of the Auditor General, submitted back to Parliament for further debate and scrutiny on the use of public funds. Mr. Speaker, all these processes used to be done manually around 20 years ago. However, the former SDL government, led by late Mr. Lesini Angarase, then instituted a major financial reform between 2004 to 2006, which included the rollout of the current FMIS system that we are using. And it was a forward-looking strategy and thinking and system change by the SDL government. Back then, the size of the budget, Mr. Speaker, was only around 25% of the current government spending. The number of users were also significantly lower, and the volume of transactions were also small. Similarly, we also had a stand-alone payroll system which used to pay the salaries of all civil servants, including parliamentarians like us. This system is centrally managed by the Ministry of Finance to pay the salaries of about 35,000 civil servants. This payroll system was not integrated with the FMIS. In layman's language, the two systems, Mr. Speaker, were not talking to each other. When we came into government 17 months ago, the Permanent Secretary of Finance and his team provided me a briefing on the state of the economy and public finances, on the current system and processes of the Ministry of Finance, Mr. Speaker, the legislations and policies that guide the operation of the ministry and our major deliverables and plans. And during that briefing, I was actually quite shocked when they highlighted to me about the challenges with the current FMIS system and a very desperate and shocking situation with a 40-year-old payroll system. This was highlighted as the highest operational and accountability risk, not only for the Ministry of Finance, but for the whole of government, Mr. Speaker. And since then, and immediately after that, we made that as one of our top priorities, and with the approval of the Parliament for a total budget of about $14 million for a new FEMIS, which will have an inbuilt payroll system. The Ministry of Finance, in fact, Mr. Speaker, did a very good job, together with the support from the Asian Development Bank. All the technical support was provided by the Asian Development Bank, and we embarked on developing a new system. Let me start with the payroll system, Mr. Speaker, because it's important for me to explain what was there. The existing payroll system was tailor-made for the Fijian government and had been in existence for over 40 years, since 1984. This system was developed by a local company called Solutions for Business, which is managed and operated by an individual named Mr. Berry Kay. And I pay tribute to this great gentleman who passed away later last year at the age of 86. And he was the only person, Mr. Speaker, who over the years was providing the technical backup despite all the challenges and the hiccups that the Ministry of Finance staff at the back end of the activities were trying to handle. So, Mr. Speaker, when this payroll system was developed 40 years ago, it served the purpose at that time. But over the years, piecemeal changes were made, and the system had lagged behind, and it was not what ought to be a modern payroll system. And there were a number of challenges that the payroll system created for the Ministry of Finance staff, for the Auditor General's office, for timely production of annual reports and activities. Because the payroll system was not integrated with the FEMIS, which was rolled in 2006, as I said, by the SDL government. This meant that the payroll activity is actually not available on the financial management system on a real-time basis. This lack of integration and control has led to the overspending of the salary budget by many agencies year after year, and the Auditor General, if you look at the reports, Mr. Speaker, every year that issue has been highlighted. And there are several processes that have to be manually input into, with no provision of uploads and attachments that could have brought about efficiency. Third and most critical issue was that the payroll software was managed, as I said, by a single person who was getting on in his life. His health was not very good. And in fact, at one point, Mr. Speaker, we were panicking that if something happens to him, then the system, if it collapses, there was nobody who had been trained except one person that we identified, and we quickly hired her to be to come as a consultant and provide some support in case there was a disaster. So, Mr. Speaker, the FEMIS system had also become quite outdated, with a number of challenges in terms of controls, reporting, efficiency, system security. Reports had to be manually extracted. And part of the reason why ministries were not able to produce annual reports on time was that the system was not generating all these reports easily. And they used to spend a lot of time manually extracting the information. And basically the capabilities were not there as a modern system. There was obviously little or no provision available to upgrade the system to meet our accounting needs, which has evolved and become more complex over time. Apart from this, the current FEMIS is only accessible through GovNet, which means that staff cannot directly access FEMIS from home or other locations if they want to work and look at how the challenges could be met. The engagement of the Asian Development Bank, Mr. Speaker, provided us with a lot of technical support, with the experience that the ADB had in putting in place these sort of systems around the world. Mr. Speaker, the ADB's technical assessment as a first step, it was very clear that the FEMIS, the current FEMIS, and the payroll system cannot be brought together in any technical way, and therefore there was a need for a new system. And we immediately made sure that we went through an international local tender process, and this went through a technical evaluation committee, and the tender was approved, chaired by Honorable DPM Kamkamida. The international company called Bisans Solution, which specializes in government public financial management system, which has done this in countries such as US, Belgium, and many others around the world, and Marshall Islands, including that in the Pacific. The total cost is estimated to be around $12 million, Mr. Speaker, say, when everything is fully operational, and the backup and the service fee that would be covered as part of that budget. The benefits of this, Mr. Speaker, and I must say that after 14 months, so immediately after that briefing, we embarked onto it, and it's taken us 14 months of hard work to get this system ready. The training is all done now to go live on 1st of August, the start of the new financial year. So what are the benefits of this, Mr. Speaker? Once we go live, the new system will bring about greater efficiency in our accounting processes, improve financial reporting, strengthen internal controls and audit trails, and enhance the security of the system, which will be also web-based. Overall, financing, processing, and reporting will be enhanced with real-time transaction updates, which is useful for management decision-making and policy formulation. Apart from these, financial statements will be directly extracted, Mr. Speaker, say, from the system, with significant improvements in timelines for ministries and departments in preparation of accounts, audit, and presentation. And in fact, Mr. Speaker, we think that this will create real-time production of accounts, time for audits, and timely presentation of reports to Parliament, as it happens in many other countries. Mr. Speaker, say we are also undertaking work to integrate the new FEMIS with the budget and debt management system. Currently, the whole budget process, in fact, I was also surprised, Mr. Speaker, when I came in last year, that the whole budget process is Excel-based, and the Ministry of Finance is also working towards a budget software, which will be integrated with the new FEMIS at a later stage, because it's almost like doing it manually, the whole budget process. And that, Mr. Speaker, say, was a big concern to me in this day and age of technology. The new FEMIS will also eliminate any manual intervention like data punching, and majority of the payroll-related calculations will be possible through the new system, Mr. Speaker. It will also be easier to generate ad hoc reports and customized reports with new parameters to suit the needs of the users and decision-making process. For example, we had questions. We have a question from Honorable Premla Kumar, a written question. Those sort of questions, those sort of reports, Mr. Speaker, say, it's not easy right now with the current system for us to generate, and this is why all this kind of information was always available as part of annual reports or audit reports. So in conclusion, Mr. Speaker, let me say that this new system, apart from making it so much easier for the staff, for the Auditor General's office, for audit trails, it will also provide better analytics, which will allow us to disaggregate financial and accounting data to categories like climate change, gender-based activities, simply with a click of a button, Mr. Speaker. And this is a major, I would say, Mr. Speaker, this is a major transformative project to modernize the government financial management information system. And this fits in well with all the major financial management reforms that the ministry has undertaken. And I want to just quickly highlight some of them. First, the various legislative amendments to the Financial Management Act, Financial Transaction Financial Instructions, Procurement Regulations, Audit Act, Statistics Act, with the objective to improve financial management and governance, including improved transparency, accountability, external oversight, and greater independence to our Audit and Statistics Office. Secondly, the strengthening of the budget formulation process with the new public sector investment program, guidelines that improves the appraisal and selection of capital projects with a better value for money and effectiveness in achieving the outcomes. Thirdly, Mr. Speaker, as we have said before, we established the Strategic Planning Office, which is now a fully fledged office within the Ministry of Finance, which was always there, which is also currently formulating the new National Development Plan. The new debt management strategy, which is focused on reducing the debt to GDP ratio, reducing the cost of debt by accessing more concessional loans through multilateral, bilateral, and other effective liability management options, rest on timely data assessment and analysis that can inform policy. So, Mr. Speaker, as I said, this is one of the major transformative reforms that the government has undertaken, and this would be a legacy of the coalition government to provide a system that will improve accountability, transparency, audit, timely submission of reports to the Parliament as well as to the people of Fiji. And I want to take this opportunity, Mr. Speaker, to thank the entire FEMIS team. There are 20 people from within the Ministry of Finance who were working almost full-time, day and night, led by the head of Treasury, Mr. Atin Chand, and all the staff across government agency for all the hard work, because without them, we would not have got all the processes and the systems aligned with the technical aspects of the system. And I want to really thank them. And also, Mr. Speaker, I want to thank my Permanent Secretary, Shri Gounder, for his leadership and the hard work and many hours of late-night work towards this project, and various other financial management reforms that we have been able to undertake in the last 17 months since we came into government. Finally, Mr. Speaker, as I said, we are on schedule for a new FEMIS to go on live on the 1st of August, which is the start of a new financial year. And let me say that we are now working on the budget, and once we are able to add to the current system the process of budget, it will become so much easier for the government and the Ministry of Finance and all the staff, not only in Ministry of Finance, but throughout the government, to be able to access, produce reports, and ensure that it is done in a timely manner. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you.